is a newer member. I'd like to bring up Chuck Oswald. Or clap for him. Chuck Oswald, Zombies, Soggy Shoes, and Bathroom Bartenders. Zombies, Soggy Shoes, and Bathroom Bartenders. Chuck Oswald. The green with 4, the yellow with 5, and the red when it comes on it. So. Chuck?
See, I took my hiding place away, so now I have to stand out in front of the show and move. It's gonna be, no, we're good, we're good. I need a little demonstration room anyway. Toastmaster, fellow members, esteemed guests. Last session, I gave my icebreaker, and with it, I told some stories about binge everything, rock bottom, and a sharp 180-degree turn. But today, I want to talk a little bit more about lessons I learned from the extracurricular activities in college. And by extracurricular, I of course mean the parties. So most of you, when you hear the word party, you might think of wine and cheese on the veranda, game night with your co-workers, the garden party. What I'm talking about is closer to the zombie apocalypse than anything else. And that's what it's like, down in Columbus where I went to school. It's shambling co-eds. Instead of brains, it's booze. They go from house to house like scavengers. And the movies don't do it justice. There is mud wrestling and jello wrestling. You will see trash cans and kiddie pools filled with fruit, whipped cream, and alcohol that might make you go blind if you drink it too much. At a friend's house, you might walk in and have lowered from the rafters something called an octobomb, where you and 7 of your closest friends can all share at the same time a questionable beverage with a setup that would make a mad scientist proud. You never know what you might see either. I watched in horror as my good buddy slapped a police horse on the butt. Turns out that's assault. You live and you learn. But what I want to talk about are the business lessons that can be learned from these. And I have 3 that were memorable for me. The first is this: always control the supply. He who holds the beer tap has the power to make liquid dreams come true. If this isn't you, then delegate, delegate, delegate. I was usually happy to volunteer, as it makes a good seat. And you make a lot of friends and you meet lots of nice girls when you control when they get their next drink. After that, make sure you always have a reserve. If you want to call the herd and get some of the zombies moving on, all you do is spread the word that the kegs are empty, and then as soon as the smoke clears, bring up your spares. But you always need to have extra cups too. At one small gathering that blossomed out of control, we ended up with 36 kegs. Which, I don't know if you know your beer math, but that equates to about 4,200 drinks. So it's a good start. So word of this bounty spreads pretty quickly. So we had about the entire campus there. And so that's about, it was more like 2,000 people in a tiny backyard. And the red Solo cups are the first thing to go. But you wouldn't believe what they used as alternatives. Saw girls. Bob might. So girls drinking out of pots and pans, measuring cups, 2 gentlemen together sharing a punch bowl and obviously getting about 10% in their mouths. But one gentleman was so dedicated and so thirsty that he was drinking out of his own shoe. Needless to say, always have enough cups. But the most important lesson I learned is this. The third and final lesson is never shut your entrepreneurial brain off. Always be willing to entertain ideas that are just so crazy that they might work. We paired off with sororities a lot and rented out locales for events. So at one particular event, they were charging way too much for drinks. Now this deeply offended me, obviously. So I decided I could come up with a better way. I could sell my own drinks cheaper. So I assembled a crack team, and we hatched a plan. They would create a distraction, while I smuggled in 2 cases and made a beeline for the bathroom. We had a fairly simple operation. 1 point man to look out, 1 money changer, me, and 1 guy to pour the drinks. It worked well, and we sold out quickly, and the bathroom bartender was born. We made a 300% return on our investment, and we all drank for free. So I thought, we could probably get away with this every time. We could never pay for drinks again. Brilliant business model. But it took a little bit more creativity at the next event. I actually had to scale a balcony and deposit some cases there underneath a jacket. So every time people went out to the balcony with an empty cup, they came back in with a refill, minus a little change in their pockets. You know, the bartenders had to start catching on when no one was buying drinks anymore, but everyone kept having a full glass. But I made the cardinal rule, I broke the cardinal rule of pharmaceuticals. Never get too high on your own supply. Under the influence and without my team, I tried to sell pocket beers that I'd smuggled in myself. Turns out no one wants to buy pocket beers. Who would know? But I share these 3 lessons with you, but the most important lesson is this. Always be willing to look for the lesson in every situation. If you look hard enough, you will always find it. That's what I encourage everyone to do. Before I go, let me share some Latin with you. In vino veritas, in servitio felicitas. In wine there is truth, in beer there is happiness. Have a great weekend.
Well, our guests have chosen an excellent